Hey yo, what's up? It's the most indecisive content creator on YouTube, but you can call me Tyler, and I just want to share my thoughts on Prey. But first, let me ask you a question. What's a distinct experience to you? Go on, think about it. This question is broad and has many nuances to it, right? Well, let me give you an example. If we compared Six Flags to Universal Studios, many of us will agree that they're both amusement parks designed to give you some fucking fun, right? However, we will also agree that they're different experiences. One full of rides and the other one's full of novelty and points of interest and little knickknacks that you can pick up. That's some cool shit. Now, what does this have to do with Prey, you may be asking?
That's a good question.
A lot of people will compare Prey to Dishonored 1 and 2. I can already see this shit happening. You know what? Maybe even Doom. Why Doom? I don't know, because they're fucking idiots. But here's the thing. They're not too idiotic. See, what the new Doom did is what Prey aims to do. Go back to an old philosophy of game design. Now this kind of design isn't exclusive. We saw Zelda do it, you know, Zelda went back to its roots. But we're not talking about Zelda. We're talking about Doom. So, for this new Doom, they went back to the action bullet hell that it was of the days of old. Man, but let me tell you, they want to make this new Prey rad too, but they ain't gonna make us some dork ass shit and follow the old Prey, cause, I don't know, the old Prey kinda looked boring to me. That's just me. Nah, with this new Prey, they could do so much more since the license is an open book now. I mean, let's be honest, this new Prey is definitely far from what Prey Classic was and what Prey 2 was supposed to be. No, they clearly want to make this a hard-ass reboot. They don't even want to acknowledge old-ass Prey. And you know what? I kinda like the direction they're going in. This new Prey seems to be adopting the design that Looking Glass Studios popularized. I mean, for fuck's sake, look at the screen right now. A pinch of the ass and a wink to the players. Well, for the uninformed, let me run it by you real quick. See, Dishonored is to Thief what Prey is to System Shock 2. Two brilliant Looking Glass Studio titles. And Looking Glass Studios paved the way for many great hits we see nowadays, such as BioShock, Deus Ex, Dishonored. Looking Glass was on top of the world, man. However, the industry is only as good as its people. And let me tell you, Looking Glass housed key people in the industry, such as Doug Church. See, Church would lend his programming and design skill on a number of developers, from Crystal Dynamics to Ion Storm, etc., etc. They also had Ken Levine, the lead designer of BioShock and the lead designer of System Shock 2. They have several other people. I suggest you go research on your own and just be amazed of how tight-knotted the whole industry really is. It's quite amazing to look at. However, some successes don't last forever. This leads us to 2002 when Looking Glass closed. Now, I personally cannot fucking find a straight answer to why they closed. You wouldn't believe me, I searched high and low, but I came across bizarre scenarios. Some of it seemed true and legitimate, others went on a rant about the 80s and 90s gamers and mentioned the Cold War, and even God. I could not find a legit reason that they closed. And seriously, if anyone could find a real reason that they closed, that would be fucking dandy. It's bothering the hell out of me. Well, let's get into the reason why you're actually here. You want to know if Prey is worth your money. Well, I think it is. I think a lot of people should pick it up. Don't pre-order it, but pick it up. And if that's all you wanted to know, see ya. But if you want to know why it's worth your money, stick around. I asked my friend what he thought about it, and, well, Dishonored came up in the conversation. I've not played Dishonored 2 yet, but when I asked my bud about how the game feels as opposed to Dishonored 2, he said, "It feels pretty much exactly the same. The jumping is mildly more stiff in Prey. The sprinting is slower." So, if you like the way Dishonored 2 feels, you may like this game. You won't be getting the same exact experience, no, since it plays differently and they are different games focusing on different goals. Now you might be asking, why did he talk about System Shock 2 earlier? Well, to put it simply, right now until the remake for System Shock 1 and System Shock 3 are released, this is shockingly the shockiest shock game I've played since System Shock 2. However, based on the demo, it doesn't seem as clunky as System Shock 2, and the systems ain't jank, so there's that. If you do decide to get Prey, you'll be getting a game that seems to love players who experiment. This game is just so much fun. I could solve problems my own way. You know, this fucking game ain't no standardized math test where they fucking want you to solve the problem one way. They want you to do whatever the fuck you want, and I fucking love it. I personally don't even want to talk to you right now. I'd rather be fucking giving my life to the demo until the game comes out so I could waste hours on that shit. No, I gotta make a fucking video. Here, chew on this clean-ass scenario. The game wanted me to go through a door, right? And at the time, it seemed my only options were to sneak past these tall alien fucks or kill them. You know what I did? Only the best thing ever. I shot the glue cannon on the wall and made stairs to avoid that mess altogether. The game didn't tell me to do that directly. I did it myself. I remember the room where I got the glue cannon and saw that I could climb that shit. I'm the best. I'm super smart. You see, there are more ways to solve that. Now, sadly in the demo, we didn't get to mess with any powers, but oh man. Let me tell you, they could have just made this game with guns and the glue cannon alone, and I'd still be raving over it. This being said, they do have more mechanics, such as crafting. Then again, what game at this point doesn't have crafting? But the thing about this is that it isn't stashed away in an ugly-ass menu that breaks the flow of gameplay, thus immersion. No, they have this as a part of the level design. You walk up to a big machine, feed it your crap, and it spits out good shit like a coin slot machine. Even the computers and keypads don't take you out of the world. This shit is good. Let me tell you about combat. It's very frantic shooting at the little face fuckers. These things are fast and they're always shape-shifting into things so they could get the jump on you, which is horrifying. Shooting feels mediocre, but I'm willing to believe that's intentional, though they could just be idiots. Melee combat is sluggish and weighty, but that's definitely intentional. I don't mind the stamina either. It's a nice little nuance that makes you cautious. You can also peek past walls by leaning. That's always nice. And they have a skill tree to boot, but this one wasn't just added. It's very focused. You can level up skills that better your health, stamina, repairing, hacking, and so much more. I only had an experience with the hacking portion. They have a nice little mini game for it, and it'll add some major depth to the game. Now, all this being said, the game does have a few faults. So far, they're only kinda nitpicks, but first off, the music's too loud. I actually had to turn it down. And though some of the music's alright, I'm not sure if it'll stick with me. However, if they keep using the same annoying enemy fighting tune, I'm sure the game will get draining for me to play. Maybe if they just tone it down a bit, or maybe make it only special occurrences that the battle tune plays. I don't know, I'm just spitballing at this point. I also fear that the cutscenes might have a bug, but I'm not too sure. Example, when I shoved the needle in my eye, the character Morgan just started sliding across the floor. I hope that was just a small little incident with me and that it won't actually carry over to the main game. Maybe they fixed it, but that was weird. Another thing is about the presentation. I was slightly impressed with the way it looked on PS4 aside from the fuck ugly character models, though that's the game itself and not the platform. The atmosphere looks pretty good overall. Of course, a few technical cuts had to be made, so anti-aliasing isn't top-notch, and so is lighting, etc, etc. I'm not the guy for that kind of statistics. And of course, it has to be 30 FPS. But I could live with all that. Some people said, though, that they had some input lag, which I remember being rare on my playthrough, but I did notice it once in a blue moon. Though I kinda didn't shoot miniguns, only the glue cannon. But you know what? To me, that's not even the worst thing. No. The biggest offender for me is the load times. Whew, let me tell you, the worst thing in the world is having to wait to play your game. You know, it's like having to take a major dump in your prairie dog and then someone's just in your goddamn bathroom. Hurry the fuck up, I'm about to blow my guts out. But yeah, judging from the demo, I feel level design will be good. However, if I'm being honest, I feel areas look a bit bare at times. You see, the appeal with games is that they're visual, audio, and writing all in one. Prey seems to have a grasp on the writing and audio. You know, it sounds pretty nice, even though it's loud. However, the visuals, while they aren't ass doo-doo, it's doo-doo ass, if that makes sense. I only saw a few areas that were detailed. The rest of it looked like a bland mess of sci-fi shit and like they took the first page out of BioShock's level design. Some things were interesting, yes, but it feels uninspired so far. But, you know what, I'm gonna give them a pass so far, just because I only played the intro of the game, and the game could get more wild. With all this being said, I will still try to have a neutral look on this game. Part of it could just be my salty ass mad about Metal Gear Solid 5, but most of it is with Arcane and Bethesda themselves. You see, none of Arcane's and Bethesda's titles have really wowed me in the past, but I really hope that this is the game that turns my notion around. As for you, if you're a player that likes freedom, sci-fi stuff, and choice of stealth or action, or anything Looking Glass related, get this game. If you want a second opinion, luckily as I was making this video, Digital Foundry made a video. Prey comes out May 5th, and I do look forward to it, but I'm also cautious. I hope it's not a disappointment. That being said, I hope this video was helpful and have a very swell day.